Okay. If you have if you watched part one of this video, I said I would come back, and in part two, we would finish the backyard and the rest of the work on the house. However, I had an idea, and if you saw my little short that I posted earlier on Thursday, you'll see that I just tried it out on a different property to see how well it would work. And the whole idea is that I added an extension to this house, and um, I'm actually I'm almost done with the paneling, outside paneling. And this item that I'm standing on is actually a movable, um, it's movable back and forth, forward and backward, up and down. And I'm using that to do the paneling. So that is the end of that. I have done the whole outside of the house. I'm going to make one more tour around it to make sure that I did, because I don't want to have to buy one of these again. They're over $1,000. And oh, stop it. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And as I said, it can go up and down, side to side, and it makes the paneling a lot easier than using the kind of scaffolding where it doesn't move and I have to move it every time. I have to climb down and pick it up and move it over. So this is a much better choice. Now let's just make sure. Oh, stop picking me up. Make sure that we didn't miss anything. And if it looks kind of funny that there's no windows over here, that is because, well, you'll see when we go inside. So we've got a little hallway here, and I think that once we've done everything else, I'm probably going to put some fence along that so that people can't fall off. Um, this I'm thinking of making into a family room, but we'll see. And upstairs is going to be another bedroom. Nice thing is these are paintable and there's storage under them. So now we're going to go upstairs. Placing the steps was not easy the first couple times I did it. I had to keep adjusting them, but it works. I've got it working now. You can see we can go out here, and I thought that what I would do is, as I said, put up fence so that you can't fall, and then maybe just put a little chair and a table you could sit and have coffee or whatever. But this is the upstairs of the house. You can see in both cases they match reasonably well. They're not exact. I wish there was some sort of an eyedropper tool where you could point at something and get the colors and components of it. But, and you see this leads back into the house. Now, the interesting thing, I think I mentioned it in the other video, is these modular archways. I could have made this quite a bit wider if I'd had the room, of course. And you could make them this size, or you could make them as tall as the wall so that it almost looks like you're going through into just through an opening. So, we need to decorate and paint on the first floor. I was thinking family room, put a couch there and maybe a big TV, or maybe make it a library or an office. I'm not sure yet. And then up here in this room, this is going to be a bedroom. And I had considered the idea of putting a bathroom in the corner, but I don't think it will fit. That is an idea outside, though. I could, nah, don't want to do that. Okay, so we are ready to continue. Next thing I'm going to show you when we come back is the one thing I forgot to show you when we were going through the house, and that is I have to do the basement, and I'm thinking that might be a bedroom too. That gives us 2 bedrooms. That'll give us 3 bedrooms altogether. Here's down cellar. I'm thinking of leaving this brick and just putting furniture in, but I'll let you know. Okay, so be back really soon. So we're back. I have decorated this room in the basement. Um, I think it's rather warm and inviting. And there's plenty of places for clothing or books or whatever you want to put. And actually, before we continue, there's a story I'd like to tell you. Um, I had a picture of my grandmother in the upstairs basement in this house. And the interesting thing about my grandmother is that her name was Hedwig. And because of Hedwig, I got to love owls because of Harry Potter's Hedwig. So, and also because of the fact that when I was a little girl, my grandmother and I went to the movies to see the movie Clash of the Titans, and in that original movie, there were some tiny little there was a tiny mechanical owl that my grandmother was absolutely charmed by. So it seems like owls are a fitting remembrance of her. And I have been sneaking them in here, there, and everywhere. If you notice, there was one. Um, oh, I hate that door. There was one down cellar right here. There was one in that bedroom, I'm sorry, upstairs. There was one in the bathroom. And if you really were paying attention, well, you'll find them. Let me know how many you find altogether. Uh, so far, and not counting Hedwig herself, my grandmother, uh, so far there are 2 that I've shown you, this one and that one. So I'm not going to actually call out the others except for one, and I'll explain when I get there. Okay, so now we have, well, let's put that off for just a moment while we go and look at the front garden. The front garden is simple. There's a lot of conifer plants here. There's 2 fountains matching and some hedges. And over in this corner, there's a few trees. And grass growing through from the other side of the fence. But, well, what can we do? If I had noticed that, I would have moved it. Okay, so now we're going to go back through to the other section of the house. This is the part, if you remember from the last part, from part 1 and from the early section in this part, this is the part that I added. So we've got a little hallway here, put some windows on each side, and this is a family room. Basket full of apples on the table, and you'll see the source later. Now at the top, we've got on the second floor, we've got a bedroom. And I said I would explain when I got to it. This particular owl, not only my favorite color to match the purple walls in here, but my granddaughter made this for me for Mother's Day, and the picture was taken when we were up when we were at my stepson's house celebrating Mother's Day. So now, this is the other thing I wanted to tell you about. This dog was my dog when I was 11. My parents gave him to me for Christmas, and I had him until I was 29 years old. So he was a big part of my life growing up. And now we will go out. Now, in order to make this safe, I had to add a little balcony on each side because otherwise there was no fence or anything that I could put that would keep people from just walking right off the edge. We've got a couple chairs, couches up here. We've got a table, some lights, a little notebook, and a camera. And I imagine the person who lives in this upstairs room likes astronomy. So they have a telescope to look at the stars. Let's go down and we will look at the garden. Now, the back garden is a little bit more varied than the front. We've got a bunch of grass. We got a barbecue grill, some rocks, and cacti, just to make things interesting and different. Interesting little float. I think I've used him before, or her. There's also a float out in the middle of the pool, some chairs for people to sit in around the pool, a hammock, and over here is a kids' play section with a little house and I guess you'd call it a merry-go-round and a ball pit, a table and chairs. And now we will go around to the other side of the extension. This is our outdoor exercise area. And then back here, we have a couple of things. We have a birdhouse, a bird feeder, birdhouse. Yeah, a birdhouse. And we also have a dog house for the family if they own a dog. And the name on the dog house is the name of my dog, Ricky. And then over here we have 3 apple trees. I said I'd tell you where the apples came from. This is where they came from. A seating area with a fire pit, some more grass and trees. And I think this is a pretty nice, pretty comfortable backyard. And I think that this area inside, downstairs, makes a really nice sort of a family get together place where they can gather and watch movies or TV, and that's pretty much it. I hope you like it. I really like the way this came together. I think if I did this again, I would make this bigger so that the stairs didn't have to be so cramped. But it's a matter of learning because although I've done some little builds, this is really the first or the second extensive build that I've done. The first was the little short that I posted yesterday. Yesterday being Thursday, July 27th. Anyway, all right, so let's sell the house and see what we get. Either I'm going to lose my shirt or I'll do really well. Let's find out. First, the garden, and we're going to do an American garden this time. Not as good as I would have liked it to be. Does really the fact that I don't have a pizza oven make that much difference in the equipment rating? But it's still 37.5%. So let's take that and put the house on on auction. Well, that seems pretty cool. We're making a pretty good amount just on the bids. They bid 358,000 and I got an extra 134,000 from the garden competition, and that ended up with me making a profit of $276,000, and I'm not even going to argue. So that was that. That's part 2 of the accountant's house. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you like the changes I made, the building that I did, and I'll see you again. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends, and I'll see you again soon.